Yeah. Absolutely. It's a lot of it's like, yes, see it.
Yeah. Some minutes.
Okay, the Smithfield Zoning Board of Review is in session February 4th. Tonight, attending the board, we have Brian Thorman, John Hunt, Darrell Ogden. Oh, sorry, we have Stephanie as our stenographer. We have Sharon Gilmore as recording secretary. We have excuse me, Ed Savito and Frank Smith, and our solicitor, David Yusuf. Okay, Sharon, would you please read the emergency evacuation notices, please?
In case of an emergency, there are two main exits out of the chambers. The first is to the right side of the stage, up the stairs, through the doorway and down the stairway up the back side of the town hall. The second is out the back of the chambers to the exit doorway to the stairway in front of the town hall. The men's facilities are through the back of the chambers, plus the stairway around the corner on the right. And the ladies' facilities are through the back door of the chambers, straight up the stairs on the left. Please do not use the elevator in times of emergency.
David, question, I don't remember receiving meeting minutes. I had, did you get them? Yeah. Okay.
Mr. Chairman, I'd make a motion that we dispense with the reading of the minutes and accept them as presented.
Anybody second that motion? All in favor?
Aye.
Very good.
And Richard, you're gonna abstain.
I do as well.
I was
Was
absent for the other one.
so Sharon, the vote for Brian.
Yeah.
I got both of them, thank you.
Okay. With that being said, could you read off first business? Please?
'25 001, Edward P. Duffy and Edward A. Duffy as applicants and owners of property located at 310 Mountain Dale Road, listed as assessors plat, lot 80, seek an extension to a previously granted resolution.
Mr. King?
Good evening, Mr. Chair, members of the board. For the record, my name's Tim Kane and I represent the Duffys. We were before you last January to obtain variances in order to construct a single-family residence on the subject property. And it's a challenging site because it's impacted by wetlands, and my clients have spent better part of the last year down at DEM. They're hoping to finalize DEM approval by June. And they're asking for a one-year extension on the relief granted in order to finish with DEM and hopefully construct a single-family house on the lot within the next year.
Did you say there's wetlands?
The property is impacted by wetland, yes. Yep,
That right adjacent to it, yeah.
correct. But I did check with Casali Engineering today, and they are, in the middle of the DEM process. There's comments going back and forth, so they expect to finish that hopefully by June DEM approval. But we would ask for a one-year extension.
Mr. Chairman, would it be your preference to just dispense with this now, or do you want to
Yeah.
save it for deliberations?
No, it'd be better off to take care of this one. Right.
Mr. Chairman, for application 2500-1, make a motion to grant a one-year extension. Does it become effective from the date of the resolution or
Yes,
of resolution.
from the date of the original resolution?
well, for 1 year from the date of the original.
Which was January 17th, right?
Or would it be the date it's recorded?
Reported on January, yeah,
Right.
Yep.
January 16th or 17th.
17th.
Revise the motion to say grant a one-year extension to January 17th, 2027. Second.
Any other comments?
No.
Take a vote. Everybody approve?
Aye.
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 Approve. Motion is passed. Okay. Chairman, next meeting.
25-023, April Harris as applicant and Jane Mazza as owner. A property located at 311 Stillwater Road, listed as plat 20 lot 8A pursuant to town ordinance section 311-38B1. Seek to appeal the decision of the town of Smithfield Building Zoning Appeals Decision to deny the applicant's annual school inspection compliance letter.
This is 25-23. 25-023. Oh, do we ask for the applicant or do we actually tell?
So, yeah, I think with this one, we should probably have the building official come up first, just to give an overview of what's happening. And just procedurally, so the board knows procedurally, the ordinance that the town passed a few years ago states that the building official makes decisions regarding what he's going to explain to you about vehicle impact protection devices. The way the ordinance reads is appeals of his decision if an owner of a property in town doesn't like it, comes to your board as the zoning board of review. But so you're going to be reviewing it. Your standard will be to review this in terms of whether his decision was proper. And you can consider what he has to show you, and you might be able to consider any evidence if the owner has some evidence they want to present on this.
Jacob Neves and
Yes, swear them in, right?
Yes, you can swear through this.
Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Okay. Please state your case.
So this all stemmed from annual inspection requirement for the state building code for this daycare facility. Upon inspection, it was documented that the play areas do not have any sort of parking barriers in relation to the locations of parking areas, roadway, and this existing play area, just surrounded by a privacy fence. It's an existing condition, but within the ordinance, I believe this would be classified as a seating area or a pedestrian area, which would require the vehicle impact barriers.
Okay.
So with that said, we've denied them their annual inspection report, their compliance letter, until this is addressed. Either the impact barriers are installed or a decision is made. If this doesn't meet the criteria of the town ordinance, then it wouldn't be.
Okay, just for some clarification.
Yeah.
So this is an ordinance with, even though the place has been in business prior to the ordinance being passed, there's no grandfathering, anything like this, correct?
I believe section B kind of outlines all outdoor seating areas and pedestrian areas.
The reason why I'm asking the question is because in looking over this, I noticed just recently there was an incident in Coventry where the same thing where 5 people got hurt.
Correct.
And then when I started searching it, I started finding a whole bunch of other places. So knowing what the previous Coventry did, I took a look at the site and everything else. So I just wanted to find out, is there a certain criteria that if they have to put something in place, what it is, or do they have some variance as far as what has to go there?
I mean, the town does have standards that are pulled directly from the IBC, the building code, and there's vehicle impact barrier requirements. There's a standard that's required. There is some.
But the kinds of barriers that would be required is that,
Bollards and barriers, and again, it needs to meet a certain reference standard. The installation also is outlined in the ordinance, but I do believe there's some room for alternative methods. If they're deemed suitable either by the building official or if an engineer would sign off on the site condition.
is, is there a copy of the ordinance?
Yep.
We have a copy of it.
The full ordinance wouldn't be included in the letter. just the
So,
section.
but, so with respect to the ordinance, the section that Jacob is referring to is 312-37 applicability, which is section B. So the first part A talks about new construction. The second part is discussing that this article shall apply to any parking areas, which is what he was talking about, lying within 75 feet of an outdoor pedestrian seating area. And that's the second part that he was talking about for the area. And then there is a section that, as Jacob was mentioning, that goes towards installation, which is 312-36 performance standards. Item D, installation. So within installation, it says ballads or barriers shall be set with the bottom at least 42 inches below the finished grade or otherwise below the frost line. But then as Jacob stated, there's a second part to ballads and barriers. It says alternative shallow mount installations may be approved by the building or zoning official as dictated by site conditions. Can you explain what shallow mount installations are? Is that just like blocks or what?
Depends on what's proposed, but yeah, it's a little bit vague. I think some sections do also include provisions for a vertical wall. No lower than 3 feet in height. So
A shallow mount installation, that doesn't mean it has to be 42 inches deep, right?
No, I
It could just be like blocks or something that we see.
I've seen blocks used around town. I think that's been an approved alternative method in the past. It depends on the site condition and what challenges they have to deal with to make.
So it's parking areas and roadways.
That's where it's a little gray in the ordinance. But the ordinance specifically calls out parking areas. That's it.
But the purpose, where Jacob has been trying to utilize this ordinance generally is also with the purpose. Because the purpose says that it's to have a logical process for installation of vehicle impact protection devices relative to new business, pedestrian travel, and outdoor seating in the interest of public safety. So this one's just sort of odd because it's so close to a roadway. So the pedestrian, what he has said is the pedestrian area, which is where the children are, is very close. That pedestrian travels close to the road. So he's trying to see if this has to apply in that manner.
So, I'm still kind of hung up on the purpose where new is in there. I get it. I don't want to be the person that authorizes vehicles without any barriers. But this has been a business that's been around for a lot of years. And this is an expensive undertaking. More importantly is one of the photos that's been provided. I'd have to think that when the site plan when the daycare was originally permitted, the fence alignment along, was it Third Ridge Boulevard that's there? Was probably a condition that came from the town. Now we're asking them to put barriers, which probably are in the right of way, which is property they don't control. I just, we gotta look at this a little bit more logically.
Is it clear that barriers are required along the roadway as well, or is it
No.
just required in the parking area?
The way it's written in the ordinance is parking areas.
Okay.
I think the purpose in the ordinance too is also a little gray because it does call out new construction, but then there's a comma.
Yes, because
The other sections could also be applicable to existing.
Jacob, may I ask a question? Do you deem this dangerous?
I think there's a risk that's very comparable, even higher than the risk that was originally intended by ordinance.
Okay, so you being the building official, and as we both know, there are certain provisions in our code, in the building code, that if you deem something, even though it's an existing situation, you weren't here when that was passed.
Well, I think that's where this is unique, because
Well, I want to give my whole spiel first before we go anywhere, okay? You went to the site. You deemed this a dangerous condition. Looking at it with the street there, with a vinyl fence. Vinyl fence is not going to stop a car. Within the last few months, if you watch the news, we've seen cars that have gone through fences and everything like that. Now, being that said, you being a dangerous condition, with children being there, of course, during the summer time, okay, I feel that it's warranted to have the bollards put in the necessary way with the 42 inches in the ground, put the covering on. You know, in the course of your inspection, I'm sure this didn't just pop in your head and say, oh, well, I think, they should have some protection there. It's a safety feature. There's cars there. That car could jump the curb or whatever and go over everything and go right through that fence. So my position is, even though it's an existing situation, in today's ruling, I think safety is the number one issue here. And the only correction would be with the bollards.
I agree with that wholeheartedly. I think it's weekly we see cars going through buildings on the news. We had someone killed up in Smithfield. They went through a building. God forbid if this happened to a child.
no, I agree. I mean, that's one of the reasons I came up on a letter. Just one thing I will say,
Yeah, exactly.
this is unique for Smithfield because our building code, I couldn't require the location. The building code addresses how it needs to be installed. But for us to say that it's required at this business location, it's not going to be in the prescriptive code in the building code. That's why the town ordinance supports the location where it's required. Building code, that'll outline how it's installed.
But this is clearly a safety issue. It's a
Agreed.
safety issue
Fully
with
agreed.
our children there.
But it's unique because it's again, it's an existing
But
business.
Jacob, I understand it's an existing business.
I get it.
But right at this juncture, as of today, that's not a safe barrier for the children.
Agreed.
I mean, you guys know as well as I do. We go to many inspections. And sometimes there are existing situations that we make rulings, even though it's an existing situation. Yes, maybe it wasn't required then, or maybe it isn't required now, or it is required now. But safety is above all an entity to all uses. In the town of Johnston, 4 in the last month went through buildings. Okay. Now they all have ballots because I requested it. And it's a safety issue. And to my estimation, you were right in line saying it's a barrier, qualified barrier. And if it were me, I would definitely go with ballots. And that way there, everybody can sleep at night. But looking at this with a vinyl fence, that has no protection. Zero.
Anything else you want to add to this at this moment? Okay. We have the owners of the property. Are they here? Owners of the business. Okay.
April
Please state your
Harris.
name and clearly so she can pick you up.
April Harris. How are you? Yes.
And I'm Juliet DeJesus.
Okay. Do you both swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? So help you God. Okay. So obviously, this daycare's been here a long time.
Mhm.
The property across the street is relatively new. A lot of the businesses up there, Boulevard, are in there, but there are a lot of more new ones going in up there.
Mhm.
Um, how old is the fence that's up there now?
It's gotta be over 20 years.
I think about 20 years.
Okay. And there is a stop, there is a four-way stop, so I've been
Four-way stop.
into that area and everything else.
Yep.
Um. I know any additional expense on something like this, it's tough to absorb from a small business. Um. As you are aware, I mean, there have been many cases lately. I just want to, we've been talking about safety of children, so I just want to read you off a few. So September 29th of last year, Coventry, right? One of the people who I think worked at the building, something happened, she turned right back into the fence and 5 kids got hurt. Last year in Chatham, Illinois, a car went through a fence and 4 people were killed, 6 were injured. In 2022, Christian Adventures preschool, a car went through and 3 kids went to the hospital. In Santa Clara, California, last February 21, 3 children went to the hospital. And September 11th of last year, Ontario, Canada daycare. 2 children taken to the hospital because somebody went through a fence. So you can understand what I believe the building official is going through and what we're trying to comprehend here of safety, like the Savitos said, is like a #1 concern that we have, especially for little kids. We'd hate to say, don't need it, and then have something happen. And then
I've been with Breezy Knoll the whole almost 38 years that we've been there. So safety is our utmost concern. That being said, when Mr. Neves came through and did his inspection of the property, he did mention when he was taking pictures of our fencing and worrying about the fencing, that coming down the pike within 2 to 3 years from now, it was going to be something that playgrounds were going to be required to have this.
Mhm.
I totally understand that. And I feel like that's a time frame for a small business to get the funding together for this. And I immediately started calling, but to be denied our inspection for something that in the wordage, and I had Julia printed out really big because I need glasses, that says, it should apply to outdoor pedestrian seating areas. It's not an outdoor seating area for pedestrians. It's a playground that's used 3 hours a day. And so our thought is, yes, give us a heads up. This is coming down the pike. You need to save for this. It's got to go in within the next 2 years. You're going to have to put these in. We're all for it. We're like, okay, this is what we have to do. But to deny us when it's really not in the wordage in the ordinance, it's not in there. And I don't feel like it's fair to read between lines in that ordinance and put playgrounds in there and put other things in there just because I understand it's a worry. It's something that we definitely will save towards and put towards, in our 38 years, we are so blessed to have never had an issue with this. But that doesn't mean it won't happen. So yes, we should start looking towards this and start saving money towards this and start researching companies that are going to put these in. And I would like to do that, but to be denied our inspection because of something that's not clearly written in the ordinance, I feel like that's unfair. And that's the
Jacob.
only reason we're here. We're just kind of confused as to how we're reading between lines here.
Excuse me 1 second. Jacob, did you do an inspection on the building itself? So the building is okay inside. So the inside of the building is fine. So we're addressing the outside of the building that is a safety problem. This is where we're going with this.
Okay, I'm just wondering, do we do we have to just go by what everyone's deciding, or can we just go by what we're being cited on this ordinance? And the wordage in this ordinance does not state playgrounds, does not state play yards or anything like
But
that.
here's what you
We
want.
wanna go with the grandfathered in because we've been there forever. We want to do what's right for the children and we want to work towards that. But this is a big hardship on a very small business.
Okay,
That's been for
I,
38
and
years.
wholeheartedly, I really, I feel bad about that. But he did do the building and the building is okay. Am I right? So let's exclude that. So he really didn't deny you the inspection. He did the building, so you can occupy the building. So now, let's go to the outside. We're addressing the outside where the safety problem lies, not on the inside of the building. You're still gonna operate. You're still gonna operate. Yeah, you're still gonna operate, but our safety,
Ordinances or no? We just read into it what we feel like reading into it. That's my question, is Mr. Knapp's wrote in our denial letter, notice of denial, he wrote, outdoor play areas must meet the same protective requirements applicable to outdoor pedestrian seating areas. Where in the ordinance does it say that? That's
let's
my
go one step further.
frustrating.
Let's forget about the seating. You have children playing there. Playing there.
For
That's-
38 years, and we've always
that's-
taken safety as our utmost concern. So that's where I feel like this is a very big gray area. I didn't realize that we can infer into the ordinance what we feel like inferring. I didn't feel like this could all go down, so I'm feeling uncomfortable moving forward with this. And I think if we could, we'd like to move this to next month's and would like to get some legal counsel, because I feel like I feel like it's a cut and dry thing. It does not state playgrounds, play areas, play anything. I didn't know that inspectors were able to infer what their thoughts were. They must meet the same requirements. Well, who said that? Where was that written? So for me,
Let's-
I would like to get our lawyer in on this and come back next month. I'd feel much more comfortable having legal counsel, because I feel like we sat there and already a few of you were like, no, we totally agree. This is not good, not good. So I feel like it's not a fair situation for our business.
Okay,
for
but
us.
just let me,
So
let me.
I would like to continue.
Okay, I
this.
can understand that. But we are talking about safety.
Yes,
So let's say she comes back, you come back here next month. And we adjudicate the safety problem with the stability of a vinyl fence.
I think
Okay,
it's the
and we-
legality of the wordage.
No,
and
I
you
know.
can't
I'm
just
talking about
legally enforce
safety.
Something
I
that's
am
not
talking-
there.
I'm talking about safety. Because your next appeal, you realize this, is Superior Court.
I was under the assumption if we are not comfortable before a judgment is made, we could back out and continue it to. a different-
Absolutely.
Okay,
That's
that's
your
what we're gonna do.
prerogative.
That's what we're gonna do. Thank you.
We're not making a decision yet at this time. But I think we are interested in having a dialogue with you, so that way you do have a better idea of what we're thinking, so you can be prepared
Yeah.
for the next.
And again, we want to work towards getting these bollards in, not so far as like the whole road and the whole front and the whole, the parking lot, I suppose, because it says parking lot in there, even though we're not a pedestrian seating area, we will look towards that. And again, he did say that coming down the pike, and I think you remember that, Mr. Ness, you said to me while we were outside looking at it, well, coming down the pike, we are going to have the wordage that it is playgrounds as well. So it's not, playgrounds are not in the ordinance yet. So we should have time to prepare and get the monies together and get some quotes in from different companies and get that all together so that we can do this where it's not a detriment to our business.
That was one of my questions, was going to be, have you worked on getting quotes?
I've talked to a few companies and they are coming out once the snow clears. We've got
You got-
quite a bit of snow, but I've
Understand
talked to a few
where we're
companies.
also coming from is that when we get something like this, we have to look at both sides, which we do.
Absolutely.
But we also look at, okay, this is where a lot of little kids is. We've all seen accidents and read about them. I mean, the last year in Coventry, I worked within like 10 minutes of that place. And since then, they've put barriers up outside their fence line to make sure, because it happened to them. We're trying to avoid that kind of a situation if possible. You know, because as we all know, people are on their phones. I ride a motorcycle. People are not paying attention while they're driving. You can see it every time. Driving down the road, I'm on the road a lot. I see people looking down. So I know they're looking at a phone. And it doesn't take much. You know, they'll blow right through a stop sign. They'll blow right through a red light. You know what I mean? So something like this where all of a sudden somebody comes up and they turn, next thing you know, they're going through a fence. That's what our concern is, that we want to make sure that, you know,
Where,
we don't want to do any harm to you or the kids that you take care of. We just want to make sure that nobody gets hurt at this point.
safety is a huge concern of ours. Every day, from every little thing that goes on. And we would have been more understanding, I would have been more understanding, because Mr. Neff said this is not in the wordage, but it's coming down the pike. We are talking about it, it is going to be in there, and I was like, well, it's good to have that heads up. You know, as a small business, and honestly, it's coming
Yeah.
up. I'm gonna start researching, I'm gonna get prices, I'm gonna figure out like, how are we gonna get this done? How are we gonna make it look good? Cause we love our little fence, we love our pretty red roof, we want it to look good, we want it to be safe. So I would have been better with a pass, but this is coming down the pike, so
Be
understand,
prepared.
be prepared. It's coming down the pike, and possibly next year when I inspect you, you're gonna have to have these in, or I'm not gonna pass you. I would have been better with that, and again, in reading the ordinance 8 million times and going, and I'm like, it's not applicable to us. I understand the safety worry, and again, 38 years, I adore where I work. I adore the people I work with. I adore my children. I don't want anyone hurt. And we will be working on this continually, because even if today you said, okay, April, you can walk out of here, everything's fine, we're still working on it. We're still going to be saving money for this. We're still going to be researching the different companies and getting those quotes in the spring. We're still going to be doing that because it's coming down the pipe. And times are changing. It's not the way it was when we opened 38 years ago, when I was there. You know, it's different. And so we do have to change. But to be forced into it where someone's reading into the wordage and then writing in his opinion on the word as well, daycares have to, playgrounds must meet the same rules. Where does it say that in the ordinance? And I think that's where the confusion for me lies. Like, if you have an ordinance, there's no between the lines, it's an ordinance. This is what it states. And so that's where the confusion lies. And again, we'll come back next month with our attorney. We want our pass. We want to know that we need to save for this in the very near future, because I'm sure it's going to pass. There's been so many issues going on with cars and distracted driving and whatnot. We know that's coming. But to be denied an approval for that inspection.
So, but you are operating, correct? You are operating.
Yes.
Your school is operational. So basically all we're talking about is the playground area. No, but I'm saying, they're operational. You didn't shut down the school. Yes,
Mr. Chairman,
Because
but they are operational.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
Is the playground currently operational?
Yes.
they collect this data and this reports.
DHS.
They had a licensing authority.
Yeah. DHS has inspected us and passed us. The fire marshal has come in and
Passed us.
Passed us. We've always passed. We've never not.
This is our first time ever.
This is literally the first time we've ever had something like this happen.
Okay.
So we're kind of shell shocked, because we are very
In compliance
strict
with
about
everything.
what we want to, I know.
There's a lot of requirements for a
Yes.
childcare place, that's for sure.
Regs every single year, and believe it or not, we find something new that we have to improve upon, and we immediately,
Improve upon.
because
We're just
everything
diligent.
is written to, you know.
Yep.
And we have highlighters, we
Yeah,
have
we're-
sticky notes, it's,
It is, it's.
We wanna
it's
do what's
daunting,
right for the
and
kids.
For us, we just want to do what's right for the kids, you know?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
they've indicated a desire to have representation by legal
Yes.
counsel. And the testimony is generating a record, which now legal counsel has to address. I would make a motion at this point with your support that we continue this to the March meeting.
Before we move on that motion, is there any ramifications to the current status of the business while we wait till next month? Is it in danger of anything changing with the situation? Is there any risk to?
The operation? of
Yes.
it, I think they're still operational. Like, so what's the
I've never been
effect?
told, can't be. Again, we're doing everything we're supposed to be doing.
No, not
They
from
don't
the
have
town.
compliance level.
Right.
That's.
But with this weather, you're putting the children outside?
Love being out in the snow. Even if it's for like 10 minutes, they love, yeah, they go out in the snow for a few minutes.
But you have to understand too, when you started this business 30 years ago,
8.
38 years ago, okay. I'm sure there wasn't that many cars on the road 38 years ago.
Oh,
So as we go on, things have changed. And in looking at this, and wholeheartedly, I know you want to do the best thing for the children. But so do we, and so do I. When I make a decision, or we make a decision, it's the children are first. He didn't take away all your rights of operation. You're still operating inside as normal. So suspending the outdoors for 30 days, I don't think it's a big, really ordeal.
so is that what's happening?
No, I'm just saying.
She hasn't, they have not,
We haven't
even though
lost
there's
any-
not a compliance letter, they haven't been suspended from outdoors. They're still able to operate.
So that's what I'm saying. So the business is still going. So come back next month with your attorney and we'll see that alone.
Is the owner, either of you also the owners?
My mother, Jane, is the owner.
You have a, I would recommend that she also appear,
Okay.
if she's available.
Mhm.
Only
Okay.
because this is, I don't know what your lease agreement is, your attorney may want to look at that also. But I don't know if it's something that the owner has to be involved or at least be aware of. I know she's your mother, so I'm sure.
She's very aware.
It's very weird. I talked to her today about it.
Okay.
Yes.
You know, just in case,
Mhm.
there's questions as,
Yeah.
because this is an owner-based thing until we know what your council, where things stand regarding how your agreement is to.
Okay, if she is away in Florida, can she like zoom in or?
Does she know, if if she's available to be here.
Okay,
She's just, we're her right-hand ladies. I've been with her 40+ years. We used to be in her home in Smithfield and now moved to Stillwater. So yes, I've been with Jane forever. So, yeah. And Jane, clearly she has too.
And what you should do, once you have counsel, just have them reach out to Jacob and he'll get in touch with me. Cause I want to just touch base with your counsel on a couple of things that I'm gonna advise the board over as to how they're supposed to review this and how their standards need to be reviewed, okay?
For
Thank
sure,
you.
For sure.
All
Thank you
this
so much.
continuance,
We gotta,
We have a
we have to, we got a motion.
There's not a second.
Yeah. We haven't,
for this continuance, do they operate as they are presently operating?
yes, you have no, you don't have any equitable injunction authority. as
Okay,
the
that's, I
board.
just wanted to verify that.
So, but before the motion even gets seconded, to confirm that motion for continuance is to March 19th. That's the next
Yeah, it's fine.
zoning date.
St. Joseph's Day. You bringing the Zafleys?
If they're gluten free, they'll be here. So that's the motion. For a second.
Okay, do I have a second?
A second.
All in favor, the
Aye.
continuance? Aye,
Aye.
approved. Motion's made. So we have a continuance until next month. Thank you. Yes,
024 Farnham Pike Development LLC as applicant and owner of property located at 301 Farnham Pike, listed as assessors plat 46 lot 58, 6-dimensional variances to deviate from section 5.4.1 dimensional regulations to construct a separate building on the property in a light industrial district.
ready? We're ready, Mr. Kane.
All right, again, for the record, Mr. Chairman, members of the board, my name's Timothy Kane, and I'm an attorney licensed to practice law. And I represent Farnham Pike LLC. And John DeLauro, who is the principal of that liability company. As you can see from the plans, my client, and the application, my client is seeking two-dimensional variances from this board in order to construct a 9,900 square foot building at 301 Pike in a light industrial zone. Just to give you a little background, some of you were here. Maybe most of you were here, but you approved this exact identical application in October of 2020. The same variances were requested. It was a 40-foot variance from the rear lot set line, rear yard setback of 50 feet. So we would be 10 feet from the rear yard as shown on the plans. And we were also looking for a 20-foot variance side yard setback of 40 feet. Back then, we also asked for wetlands approval. Smithfield had a 100-foot buffer. You no longer have jurisdiction over wetlands. DEM has sole jurisdiction over wetlands. And my client has obtained DEM approval and did get an extension of his DEM approval, and we submitted that as part of the application packet. So he's all set with wetlands, and they do impact the site. The property is unique. It's odd shaped. And it's impacted by wetlands, and it really leaves the remaining developable area kind of in the northeast corner of the property where he's proposing the building. Mr. DeLauro has been before this board numerous times. He respectfully submit, he does rather nice developments in the town of Smithfield off Appian Way. He developed the Pizone's building on Route 44, also has and it's an attractive building and it's well maintained. And I'm gonna have him come up here and just tell you, what his plans are for this building. So, Mr. DeLauro.
Please state your name.
My name is John DeLauro, DELL apostrophe ORO.
Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Okay,
Mr. DeLauro, Farnham Pike Development LLC is the owner of the subject property. Is that correct?
Yes.
And you're the principal of Farnham Pike Development LLC.
Yes.
You're obviously familiar with the subject property.
Very.
And you're familiar with the application before the building.
Yes, I am.
And there's already an existing building on the subject property. Is that correct?
Yes,
And you have a tenant in that existing building.
I do.
And we're proposing to build a 9,900 square foot building on this property in accordance with the plan submitted to the zoning board. Is that correct?
That is correct.
What is your proposed use of that new building?
The- The new building is for one of the tenants in the front building on the property. They've outgrown the space that they're currently leasing from me. And they're looking for approximately 10,000 square feet. So they would move their operation from the front building to the back.
What is that operation?
The name of the company is Mission Green.
They do lawn care.
They do lawn care.
they do.
Not landscapers, but
I know. Fertilization. right?
fertilization, lawn care. Yes.
And you submitted and kind of rendering on what the building would look like to the zoning board. Is that correct?
Yes.
In our discussions, you mentioned that the roof might end up looking a little different than the rendering. Could you explain that to the board?
The roof line, the current rendering shows a shed roof. The roof pitches in two directions. The new roof line is gonna pitch in one direction like a shed roof. Similar to another project I recently constructed.
Shedding back into the property or behind it?
It's gonna shed towards the front, into the property.
Okay.
Like a.
Just, just a long 2% slope, roughly 2% slope. Roof.
And that would be the only conceptual change.
Conceptually, that's the only change.
Okay. And you've done other projects in the town of Smithfield, is that correct? In light industrial zones?
No,
Probably
several.
At least, I think at least.
Yeah, 5 or 6.
I don't have any other questions for him, and we said vegetative plan, we got the M approval. It's the exact relief, that we requested from the board in 2020, and it was extended once, but here we are, 5, 6 years later. Relief is obviously inspired, he's back for you, it will be a good building, it's, puts people to work, it gives the growing business a new home, and then the existing building, they are an opportunity for another tenant to generate tax. And of course, the property is relief, he hasn't created his own hardship. And I respectfully request that he's asking for lease relief.
And cited, the building cited in the same location as the original applicants.
Exactly. the same.
So there were two conditions in the original decision. So I just asked the board to look at those to see if they're even applicable to the new project or not. Remember,
I drove in there the other day and I would still have the same thing within the front, I think because of truck traffic. I think we were asking originally for some bollards along the front so that,
The bollards they were asking for was on the side,
yes,
So the
not,
west-
not the front,
right,
but
the west side.
Yeah,
that
because you're
drive-
you're driving in all the way versus
There's one door, actually, there's two doors that
right to that left side.
tenants can
Yeah.
potentially come out of,
You walk right out, yes.
and they would be, entering into the lane of traffic.
Will they be parking vehicles inside this building?
They could, yeah. So the building's set up with two loading docks, 4-foot typical loading docks, and it also has two grade level doors so that they can put their trucks inside at night. They can load the trucks, unload the trucks.
This building will have a sprinkler system?
No, it's not required. It's under 10,000 square feet.
What is the square footage of the building?
The building is roughly 9,900 square feet. There's no public water on the property. It's a well.
Town sewer.
Town sewer,
But no town water?
no town water. The closest town water is down by the,
You don't want to take it out of the pond? No.
I give him enough trouble myself.
Combined less than 25 employees?
This,
Between
that
both.
tenant. Oh,
Between-
yeah.
Okay. How will the sanitary sewer connect? How will the sanitary sewer for the new building connect?
So the plan is to, on the east side, there's two driveways. We just talked about the west driveway, which was the bollards, but on the other driveway, the east side, in front of that driveway, there's a sewer manhole out in the street.
Mhm.
And our intention is to grab that, connect it there and run it up that driveway.
Do the existing buildings on sanitary sewer as well?
The existing building has sanitary sewer. I
don't know that sewer ordinance enough. Do we allow multiple connections to,
our property,
yeah,
that I don't.
if we don't,
Then I gotta go find that other sewer line
okay.
from the existing building. It's nice and clean the way it's laid out, and I've actually preliminarily shot all the grades work.
Mr. Kane made testimony early in the process that the property for is Farnham Pike Development LLC, but sheets 2, 3, and 4 indicate the owner is Angel Farm Estates LLC.
That was a previous owner. We haven't changed the plans.
Yep.
Same plans as last time.
If this board were to see fit to essentially kind of rework what the original decision, are you opposed to incorporating a landscape plan and a site lighting plan?
I could develop that. There's not a lot left for landscape.
Well, and it's
But-
more about the spirit of the ordinance.
Yeah, exactly. I already planned on, if you look at sheet 3. The parking spots to the north. That whole, just to create some buffer between myself and Boyle and Fogarty's property.
Yep.
I already intended on abrevieties there, so
And then did DEM require anything along the biologic edge?
Only, and I already addressed it, only along the existing building. And that's already been put in place.
Oh,
and it was a
I see that. I
requirement,
see six. Okay,
it
thank you.
was a requirement.
Yep. DOT?
I have not approached DOT. The only thing I need is.
Change in use, it's gonna need a PAP.
Yeah, it's the same use.
It's an intensification.
Okay.
Any of the chemicals in the building hazardous? That they
No,
use?
they're not hazardous. Nope.
And if they wash off their equipment and stuff, and that goes down the sewer, that's all. Okay,
Yes,
Are you going to fall under the pre-treatment requirement?
I don't believe so.
Well, I had. Dumpster location
Um,
and snow storage.
snow store, dumpster location, actually didn't, actually, that's not
There's another
shown.
page.
Is there another page? I don't know. That's shown.
There's a lot of drainage.
Yeah. We can, yeah, it would have been here on this page.
You have surplus of parking that you maybe could grab one of those.
Yeah, if I have to, we can grab a spot. Yes, we'll make a provision for a dumpster. We can do that spot there.
But we need one space per 500 square feet, right?
For one,
For
that's
parking?
that's for office space.
Huh?
That's for office space, I believe.
That's industrial uses. Utilities, I mean, so. Office area is 4 per square, 1,000 square feet, even be more.
Haven't seen it.
He didn't schedule.
Yeah, usually does. I know.
I'm looking. Somebody one that kind of looks like it would fall under.
No, it's not fashion. Well, it's six existing, yeah.
The more you go commercial, the more you need.
Six, 12, 15.
So how many spots are located?
It looks like 1, 2,
Looks like-
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8,
Plus,
9, 10,
Plus
11,
these.
12, 13 maybe?
yeah. How many did you come up with?
I'm looking at 13 if I count. Yeah, huh?
One,
Yeah.
two,
Still gonna make a provision for EDA too.
6.
So if it's 20,000 square feet.
Thank you.
Well, it's 10,000. Right, it's 9,900 square feet.
I'm just adding the other building.
Oh.
How big's the other building, sir?
Well, I guess
They got 6,000 and an office area of 1,400, so another 7,400.
so.
Yep.
For industrial, John, is there any manufacturing that takes place?
No,
So it's
warehouse, storage.
So on sheet 11, we do have, you might have all find the parking is together.
7,600 for the first one.
So for warehouse space, which is one space per 1,000 square feet, or one space per employee on maximum shift.
Total for the two buildings, 12 warehouse employees, 12 spaces. Office, 4 spaces per 1,000.
Yeah, you would need 16 spaces. 16 to 17 spaces.
Yeah, we're providing a total of 24 spaces
the two
for the property. And according to the calculation, we're required to have
You
21.
might want to take a look at sheet 11. It's got a breakdown. Breakdown. In the upper left-hand corner.
I'm just counting the spaces on the, shown on the drawing.
There's also in the front of the existing building, there's spaces on the front of the building and there's spaces, and they're very light, so they're hard to see. There's spaces to the right of the existing building.
Have any issue with parking out there right now with the existing building?
No,
I have 20 spaces because you've got the 6 existing spaces, which is to the left of the existing warehouse space.
Yep.
Then there's another 6 to the east of that. Or above it.
above it. No, with that.
There are 3 ADA spaces, 2 ADA spaces to the right of the proposed building. And then there's 6, including 1 ADA, to the northwest of the proposed building. So 6, 8, 14, and 6 is 20 total.
We're missing one somewhere according to the tape. I'm looking for it, as he's saying. And actually, your stamp engineer plan is saying we're providing 24. All right.
What's not showing up? Is there any parking in the front of the building?
That's what's not showing up in front of the existing building. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Looks like 5 spaces there.
But are they on the lot?
Are they at what?
Are they on the lot?
Yes, they are.
It might be mostly on the lot. Let me tell you, in front of my building, it's
Nope.
not all mine. It's you
Okay.
know, my little building in Greenville
Yep.
is half that parking lot is a state right away.
Oh, yeah, I can see them now.
Yep.
Yep.
And then to the right of that, and I'm not gonna try to count them because I can't even see them, but I believe it's 4 or 5 other parking
So,
spots.
so right above where it says Farnham Pike Route 5, 4 parking spaces, non-conforming spaces remain. Those are the other 4. So
Those are the 4. Yep.
so that's the 24.
But then again, there's also to the right of those 4 non-conforming spaces, there is 4 other spaces that are not included as the 24.
Do you have to go to planning with this? I think I got all my questions in.
You own the property behind it?
I do not, Boyle, and
Well-
Fogarty own that property. Boyle and Fogarty.
Does anyone else have any questions? Can I have a motion, please? Oh, for the public?
Mr. Chairman, motion to open the public hearing.
And the public hearing is open. Is there anybody here to talk in favor of the applicant? No. Is there anyone here to talk not in favor of the applicant? Nope.
Motion to close the public hearing.
Motion to close public hearing. Second, okay, approved.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. I have a motion on this.
Motion to take it under advisement.
Second,
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Discussions? Enter deliberations, motion entered into deliberations?
So moved.
Second. Okay. Okay. Call for votes, all ayes?
Aye.
Deliberate.
Aye.
Aye, okay. We know who's here. All right.
I think the only thing that was left out to me was, if there's any pre-treatment requirement, so whatever motion we make, to make sure that they find out if there's any.
It's typically just a sampling man.
Because it's chemicals and.
I think update the plan set. Incorporate a landscape plan that they can come to some agreement with the environmental affairs officer. I understand it's limited. And if they have incorporated some of that as part of the DEM process,
We also need a dumpster location.
dumpster location, lighting plan. And to John's point, you know,
Did someone say snow?
snow area, snow storage, and a DOT process.
If it's required.
It's an expansion. I don't see it not. But I'll let,
And what about those conditions previous as?
reaffirming the conditions from the original decision.
Which I don't think we can choose. Testimony had an issue with those conditions.
Okay.
I'll move to that effect.
I need,
To approve those.
I need a motion.
Move, based on the conditions outlined.
Okay. Any other discussions?
second,
Second, Ed?
yes.
Ed's a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Approved. Now we need to open the
Yes.
meeting to the public. Is there anybody here would like to talk about anything? Open public comment.
Motion to close public comment.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
We good. Okay. Question for you. We have to talk about how much gray area is in there.
Yep, so I will,
See something.
I will put together a short memo that I'll circulate,
Zoning board is-
so everybody has an understanding
Out of control.
of,